Hi guys, welcome back to episode 7. I'm Allie, the host of this podcast. Today I'm joined by 2 recurring guests, Dana and Kitty. Go ahead and introduce yourselves for any first-time listeners.
Hey, I'm Dana. I'm the editor and producer and general ghost of this podcast. I'm Ace Arrow, and I guess I exist.
Hello, I am the Kitty, the neighborhood-friendly space ace and goth aunt. I also identify as Arrow Ace and non-binary, and if you hear any weird like chompy or scratchy sounds, it's because my Bengal is in here and he wants to be in the middle of everything. And for some reason he wants to chew on the corner of my tablet. I don't know why.
Oh gosh, so eat anything.
Scout Commander Hellion Havoc is making his presence known, so apologies for any strange noises.
So today we're going over symbols of asexuality.
Yeah.
Some interesting ones. Start off with cake. This most likely stems from the idea of cake is better than sex, because us aces would choose eating cake over having sex. And Avon Forum also has a tradition of welcoming new members with cake, which started around 2003. It contributed to cake becoming a symbol of asexuality.
It just reminds me of the Eddie Izzard thing about the Church of England. Cake or death? Cake, please.
Apparently cake is slang for ass?
Yes, that is true.
Oh, yes.
Ironically, like, conflicting, because it's like the furthest thing.
Yeah.
Also, there's the fact that there's a lot of aces, including myself, who don't particularly like cake.
Is it an aversion to sweets in general?
It's very hard to find for people who are gluten-free, a good gluten-free cake. And also cake, for some reason cake is just, it's hard to get a good cake. There's a lot of very mediocre cakes out there.
No, that's very true.
I like to bake a lot, but I do not have a very big sweet tooth. So about a good amount of the stuff that I bake are things that I don't even like. Like, I have a killer brownie recipe that I think my mother would legitimately murder someone for. And then I have a cheesecake recipe that she and my grandma are both nuts for. I don't really like brownies or cheesecake, but I love to make them.
I'm planning to make your brownie recipe on Friday with my best friend.
That's fun.
Well, have fun with it, because the basic recipe, my mother and grandmother decided to name my slave maker brownies because, and I quote, when she makes them, you know, you'd be willing to become my slave for them, apparently. Thankfully, I don't ask for that.
Wow.
And the variant with the Snickers in it, they just decided that particular variant was officially named Better Than Sex. And I was like, well, yeah, we're all aces. You would think that.
That's good. Well, if you don't like cake, then garlic bread is the other option as a symbol.
I do like garlic bread.
Garlic bread. But it's still the problem of gluten-free people.
Oh.
Yeah.
But I do love garlic bread.
Garlic bread is good.
Garlic bread was my
wrong
name
with
on an
garlic bread.
Ace server for like a month one time. That was fun. During the
that's
bread
fun,
revolution. We spent like a while reacting to every single message with the bread emote, and all of the
nice.
message had
Wow.
like 30 responses of the bread emote, and we were
wow.
going back in the messages and doing it further and further back. And then the server owner got annoyed and turned off emotes until we promised to stop, but it was
fun.
fair. We'd been doing it a lot, and we'd all changed our names to bread-themed names, and it was really fun, but yeah, we should have probably stopped sooner.
That's fun. The garlic bread thing originated on Reddit. It has the same reason as the cake thing. It's better than sex.
It's very similar to the cake thing.
Yeah, aces think everything's better than sex.
It's for the people,
Most
not everything,
Okay,
but most
yeah.
food things, yes.
Food things, yes. Food analogies are always good.
But yeah,
The next one's a fun one.
It's like the cake, but for people who don't have that much of a sweet tooth.
Yeah. I like cake more than garlic bread, I think.
I like garlic bread more than cake.
I think I'm outvoted because Kitty prefers garlic bread.
Yeah. I like garlic.
It's very good.
Alright. The next one, dragons. This is a fun one. At least, like, speculations of the origin of this particular symbol.
Cause yeah, no one's 100% sure where it came from. It just sort of started showing up.
Some people think it's because dragons are mythical creatures, and we're mythical creatures, or at least we don't.
At least
exist.
until recently. At least until recently, it was kind of like a what? What's that? That's not real.
One is I think it's more of because it's the mythical creatures thing, is more of if people say we're not real, hey, we're like dragons, that's cool kind of thing. It's sort of a cheeky talk back to the not real thing.
Yeah, no, dragons are really, really cool.
Yeah, dragons are cool and they're not real, so if you say we're not real, we'll be cool too, like dragons. Type thing.
And I think some of our listeners gotta be Harry Potter fans, right? So this next one, some people think it's a Harry Potter reference, because when Rowling was asked about Charlie Weasley and his sexuality, she said that he's more interested in dragons as compared to women, and the "I work with dragons" phrase became a code for not getting into a relationship. Tumblr likes it, and you get a snowball effect. So now we're dragons, and I really like this one.
Yeah.
So do I. Because, like I said, I'm a huge, regardless of J.K. Rowling being an absolute
Oh yeah, she's
troglodyte
terrible.
Recently, and it's just
we
oh
should
God,
mention that.
please
But
shut up and walk away. Stop
even the Charlie Weasley
r//
thing,
quit your bullshit.
it was when people started doing that, she went, no, he's not ace, he just likes dragons, and everyone we're all just ignoring her.
Yeah.
Right?
So he's
At
ace,
this
let's
point,
just say
she
that.
needs to be.
What's your
It's
Hogwarts house?
fine. Did you ask what our Hogwarts at that?
Yep.
I can't talk.
I'm a Gryffindor.
I'm a Hufflepuff.
I'm a Gryffindor as well. This is fun.
With strong Ravenclaw leanings.
Oh.
Yeah, any those little quizzes online you can take that'll
Oh,
tell
yeah,
you
those
your
are
house and
fun.
whatnot. Any of the official ones
Yeah.
where it would show you this is the house you would most likely be in, but here's your backup house.
Mm-hmm.
Mine always ends up being Gryffindor primarily, but if you wanted, you would also fit in Ravenclaw. So.
I think I'm about the same. I'm just not a Slytherin, apparently.
Yeah.
You
know what I feel like could fit in this conversation? We never actually told anyone the name of our mascot.
No, yeah,
Aisling.
you're right about that. I don't even remember the name anymore. It was so
Kitty
long
knows
ago.
it. Yeah.
Her name is Aisling.
Yeah.
Aisling. Aisling.
Yee.
It's an old Gaelic name. Hold on. I'll be able to tell you what it translates to.
For context, we had a bit of a thing on Instagram. We posted a story asking for name suggestions. Most of them were puns.
Most of them were puns or male names because we forgot to mention gender.
Yeah.
But where she has to be, where she's also a character in another project that we're working on, she did need to have a serious name.
As much as we did love the puns, they were very enjoyable, but it didn't end up working.
Aisling is an old feminine Irish name, and the meaning and history of it is it means dream or vision in Irish Gaelic, and it was created sometime in the 20th century.
Yeah,
it's a pretty name. I like it. I voted for it, so.
Ireland and Scotland, your Gaelic names are good for either being, oh my god, what is that string of consonants? How the heck do you say that? Or being very, very pretty.
Mm-hmm. And the runner-up name was Obsidian, which is a lot easier.
The only problem with Obsidian is that a lot of people use that for dragons. So it's
that's very
common. That was the reason that we kind of leaned away from that one. It is a good name, but it's also one that it's a very common name for black dragon characters.
Mm-hmm.
Next one, the Ace Ring.
Yeah. Do you guys have rings?
I
don't have it on right now.
I have one that I made, but I don't know where it got to, so I'm probably gonna have to make myself another one.
And mine is also made. It's made out of a paperclip. Really, it's just a black paperclip that I just kind of shake around.
Mine is made out of actual black beading wire, and it had a piece of gold or platinum plated stone on it.
Well, that sounds really pretty.
It looked kind of like a piece of aura quartz.
That sounds super pretty.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta find the damn thing again
when I can. Can't do it right now though. So. And if you don't know it, Oh, wait, Dana, do you have one? You were talking about a glittery one.
Yeah, I have one. It used to be glittery. It was a really pretty black glitter, but I've been wearing it constantly for 2 years. So now it's gone more silver.
Ah.
And so I've been looking at new options.
Mm. Well, if you don't know, an ace ring is a black ring that's worn on the right hand middle finger. Because the right hand symbolizes currently single, so it's a symbol for aces to recognize each other, show pride, in a more subtle way.
Mm-hmm.
It started in 2005, originated on the Avon website. You could probably Google for the actual thread. It was also apparently
I can explain this.
Thing.
So it was, do you know what a swinger is? Should I explain that?
I know what
I don't think so. My guess is sex worker, but I could be wrong.
No, it's...
Okay, so a swinger is... Swingers are generally people who are in a committed relationship, whether they're married or they're, like, long-term dating, and they go generally to, like, swinging parties where it's basically like an open relationship.
Yeah.
Oh.
You go to parties with other swingers, and while you're there, you basically, like, trade off spouses.
Mm-hmm.
That's what swingers are.
Oh, okay.
They do still use the black ring. They just respect the ace community and won't put it on the middle finger anymore.
That's good.
Is that, like, the black ring, is it a hand thing, or is it either hand?
I think for them it is either hand, or at least our notes say left hand, but what I've heard it's either hand. I don't know.
It depends on whether they're married or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing, because if you're married...
If they're married, it's going to be
weird.
on their left hand.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if they're just, like, long-term dating, it's probably more likely to be on their right.
But yeah, nowadays it will not be on their middle finger, but other fingers are fair game.
Do you guys know why you wear a wedding
if you're
ring
married,
on your
would it be
left?
on your left hand? Because you would have a wedding ring, right? So wouldn't it...
Yeah, they would generally wear it they would generally wear it, like, stacked with their wedding ring.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because I remember, like, the reasoning for the ace ring to be on the right hand was because it would look weird, because it's a black ring.
Do you know why?
Kind of standoutish.
Do you know why you wear a wedding ring on your left ring finger?
I mean,
No,
I don't.
So your left ring finger is the only finger on either hand that has a vein that runs from it directly to your heart.
Yes, that makes sense.
I think I've heard of that, but I don't remember if that was just one of those.
That's the reason why that's the finger for wedding rings.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I would have thought, like, that tradition would have been a thing longer than we would have the technology to know.
But of course, they didn't know that way back when that tradition got started.
Huh.
And anatomy wasn't that great, but
Yeah.
they kind of suspected it because when you're like, sometimes when you've been, like, doing something very physically active, like, you'll be able to see your pulse going anywhere that you've got, like, a pulse point, like in your wrists or in your neck.
Oh, yeah.
You can see it in that finger from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So even before anatomy was, like, really well known, it was kind of a, well, it's got to have something to do with it. It was kind of a logical inference.
Yeah.
Also, arrow rings are a thing. Something I learned a while ago.
Arrow rings.
Yes, I've heard of those.
It's a white ring on the left-hand middle finger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Same general idea and reasoning.
Yeah.
Do any of you guys have an arrow ring?
I do not.
I'm not.
No, I do not.
Oh.
I have actually had it with my ace ring that I was at a convention, obviously not this year. It was like 2 years ago now. I've had 2 rings, so that was on the ring before, I believe. And I was talking with one of the booths, and she was like, "Oh, you have an ace ring? I lost mine. I'm not currently wearing mine, but we fist bumped because we were both aces, and that was nice."
Nice.
Hey, that's cool.
Which in theory is the reason for the ace ring, of finding other aces.
Yes.
100%.
But yeah,
I
that was
haven't had
fun.
a chance to have that because, well, one, they don't go out into public nowadays because, COVID.
Pandemic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Staying people. The next one is cards, like playing cards.
Yes.
A deck of cards
yes.
has 4 aces. If you haven't realized, ACE, as in, like, the name of this podcast and whatever, is also it's a short phonetic thing for
Yeah, it's a
asexual.
short form for asexual.
And there's the 4 cards symbolize different romantic orientation.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Also sexual because you have like Gray and Demi as well in there. I'll just list them off. The Ace of Spades, which is the most common one, is Arrow Ace.
Yep.
Ace of Hearts is Romantic Ace. So there's any, I guess, ally romantic. And Ace of Clubs is Gray Aces and Gray Arrows. So that's a little bit more specific. And then Diamonds are Demi romantics and demisexuals.
Yeah.
I think it's a pretty neat thing. Although you don't really hear much besides the spades. Maybe the hearts.
Yeah, because, well, most people, I think part of that is because most people, when you think of, like, I mean, there's even a frickin' song for the Ace of Spades. So most people, when they hear the word ace in reference to, like, cards or something, that's the first thing that pops into their mind is the Ace of Spades.
100%.
Yeah, it's not necessarily because aces are using it that much more as specifically these meanings. It's just when you mention an ace and ask someone to show you an ace, they're more likely to show you the ace of spades. They're going to show you the Ace of Spades. Yeah. It's just what everyone thinks of.
Incidentally, I actually do like that old song.
I don't actually know that song.
The Ace of Spades. Oh, I'll send you a link to it. It's pretty decent. It's like it's an old rock song.
When did it come out?
Oh, Jesus. The 70s? Maybe?
That would explain it. I don't listen
now
to
it's gonna be stuck in my head all day. It's a song by a band called Motorhead. When did it come out? It came out in 1980, and it is referred to as a classic metal song.
I also don't listen to metal.
Yeah, no, it's 80s metal and today's metal are very different creatures.
I might give it a listen.
But it's a fairly decent. It's about gambling. It's not actually about like asexuality.
Oh my god, if it was.
Yeah, that'd be a trip and a half.
It's a 70s thing. Oh my gosh. I digress. The Avon Triangle is the next symbol on our list. Before the flag was a thing, people used the Avon Triangle as a symbol, or they used a half-filled heart. But because Avon is a website and not all aces use it, and because the heart implies romance, it didn't encompass the entire spectrum very well. So people wanted a flag, and people on the Avon forum just started like designing flags.
Yeah, between the forum and Tumblr.
Oh, is it also Tumblr?
Oh God, Tumblr is awash in accounts that just make pride flags for everything and anything.
Oh wow, I don't
like
have
even some of the more, how do I say this, the more interesting and niche gender identities and sexual orientations. That's
so like micro labels.
Like saying that their gender identity is a beetle.
Oh, okay.
That is legitimately a thing that some people claim.
They can, if it makes them happy, go ahead. Like, yeah.
Most of them are young teenagers or young adults.
Everyone has weird kid stages. Like,
yeah.
It's kids. It's mostly kids trying to figure themselves out. So it's like,
well, and you also have to keep in mind that on Tumblr, the biggest sin you can commit on Tumblr is to be white, heterosexual, and cisgendered. So pretty much, if you want to, not be basically bullied on Tumblr, you'll find a way to not fit into those three things. Which I think is patently ridiculous. There's nothing, in my mind, there's nothing wrong with, so long as you're not being a racist, homophobic, or transphobic asshole, there's no reason you shouldn't be able to identify as white, heterosexual, and cisgender.
Yeah, because it's not a choice.
Be open, just be a good ally, don't be a douche canoe, and actually support those people. And honestly, if you run into somebody from either of those three camps that's going to basically attack you for things that are beyond your control, just for your own well-being and safety and mental health, you do not need to try and, support that person. They obviously don't want your help anyway. At least
Yeah.
not proactively. You can passively support
Right.
them by supporting the rest of the community.
Mm-hmm.
But those toxic and abrasive members of those communities, just don't give them any
don't.
mind. Just be like, okay, bye. I'm gonna go over here.
Yeah.
I know a lot of awful,
Yeah.
straight, white, cis people, and I know a lot of lovely, straight, white, cis people.
Exactly.
It's-
What I always say is a person can be lovely and wonderful to be around. They can be an absolute joy. People, as a general rule, are awful.
Yep.
People are horrible monsters. A person can be lovely. But yeah, Tumblr is not a nice place to be.
No. I've never been able to get Tumblr. Also, I just find Tumblr's viewing post systems odd, so I don't particularly like its formatting. But also,
Yeah, it's kind of like LiveJournal 2.
yeah, it's just confusing. I've never felt like getting into it, and also the content doesn't make me want to get into it.
There are some Tumblr communities that are lovely.
Oh, for sure.
Like, I want to say it's called like Vulture Core or something. It's people that are into like taxidermy and whatnot, legal taxidermy and such. They're lovely people. You've got the like cottagecore people.
Yeah.
They're lovely, very unproblematic. But when it comes to like the feminists and some of the LGBTQ plus communities that are on Tumblr, they are incredibly toxic, vile places.
It's the whole thing of it's a lot of young teenagers trying to figure themselves out.
Trying to figure themselves out, and also trying to be social justice warriors all in one breath.
What I think it is them trying to separate themselves from what they've grown up in.
Yeah.
And so if you've grown up kind of being taught to be homophobic, once you start to come into your own, you kind of
go
rebel.
radically the other, and you go 180 degrees the other way, kind of radically.
You eventually balance out generally, but it's the whole thing of...
But unfortunately, where so much of Tumblr is almost like an echo chamber, when that is the only community of that sort that you're engaged in,
it gets out of hand.
You get some really dark, really toxic people who just get stuck in it, and they're mired in their ways. And years and years and years go by, and they don't change. They almost just get worse.
Yeah, there definitely is things like that. I do believe you gotta get your ideas from multiple sources.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
There's a couple of creators that I watch that do kind of like Tumblr deep dives and things that I find interesting, but I myself, I do have a Tumblr account somewhere that's not even technically for me. If I remember correctly, I set it up to be for an anime character.
Oh.
Because I was bored, and it was a way to kill time. That I have not checked on in years. It's been over 5 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I avoid Tumblr because it's a very negative, like I said, there are brief little pocket communities that are lighthearted and lovely, and then there's just a lot of negative on the other.
To be fair, that is true of most social media.
You're right. A lot of the thing with social media is you get like screen captures of
the good,
things from other
also
social
get the
media,
bad.
and they get filtered in. Like,
Yeah.
if you scroll through Instagram, you can find like Tumblr things and TikTok and whatever. It's not a bad thing actually, because it filters out a lot of the junk.
I think Instagram is particularly known for that, of just being other posts of other social medias.
Reddit as well, honestly.
Yeah, that's pretty true.
Yeah, a lot of that. I mean, there's literally r/Tumblr on Reddit.
It's the whole thing of people in general are terrible, and the fact that terrible people tend to be louder.
Yeah.
And so...
Not a minority.
Most large communities will have a couple terrible people
that are super loud,
and that can taint an entire community.
Yeah,
definitely.
Anyway, we've gotten off on a tangent. We were talking about between the Avon forums. The Avon forums started making flags. Tumblr did as well. I'm sure, though, considering just like looking at what's on Avon's website and what I know shows up on a lot of Tumblr sites, I'm pretty sure that what was going on was people on Tumblr were looking at what was on the actual like Avon website, the official, asexual network, and went, okay, here, these, and just kind of corded them over.
To like increase visibility, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Okay, I see. Yeah. The final design, which is the black, gray, white, purple horizontal stripe, it was suggested by Avon user Stand Up on 30th of June in 2010. So more information about this flag and what it represents. The colors of the stripes represent specific things. Black stands for asexuality. The gray stands for gray sexual or demisexual or somewhere in that spectrum. White is the non-ace and allies. Non-ace partners and allies, sorry. And purple is the community at large. The colors of black, gray, white, and purple are just kind of used in merch and art stuff as a more subtle way of showing pride.
Yeah,
I saw one on the r/asexuality subreddit. I think it was yesterday or maybe the day before. Like a lacquered pin. It was a praying mantis.
Oh, I think I saw that one as well.
That was all in
it was in purple.
ace flag colors. It was gorgeous. Some of the people on Etsy that make stuff like that are just freaking phenomenal.
Yeah, I have a couple pins like that. I often make little crocheted whales and then have them in the ace colors. I also make them in a whole bunch of other sexuality colors, but I have the largest collections of the ace ones because I tend to give them to aces I know in real life.
Oh,
whales
that's
are
nice.
cute.
Yes, they are.
It's a shitty pun. What's better than a shitty pun? It's an asexual whale. And then we have the homosexual whales. And I have lesbians. And I got transgender. And I have a collection. Mostly to give to people who... I generally give keychains as gifts just randomly, so...
Oh, that's so neat, yeah.
Technically sell them, have not sold many. Generally just give them to people. I'm not a very good saleswoman.
Yeah, I'm working on getting better at that too. I tend to give away a lot of my art and stuff too.
Like just the in general pride flags and their very distinct colors, at least to the people who can recognize them, are, if you see them, you'll know what it is, but the bigots out there who don't bother to look into it, maybe besides like just the normal rainbow pride flag, will not know. So it's pretty neat.
Like my Aunt Marion would not know with that like mantis pin all in purple and black and gray. She would not know that was like a pride flag. She'd just be like, oh, that's a pretty mantis pin. Whereas everyone who lives in my house further up the road would be like, oh, it's an ace mantis. It's a mantis.
But yeah, I slowly, most of my art in like high school ended up being in the ace colors, and I blame it for purple being my favorite color.
Yeah, purple is my favorite color.
Purple is a terrible favorite color to have. It doesn't go with anything because I have so many purple shirts.
That's not true.
I don't like wearing purple,
go with
but I like it as a color. It's the color of my phone case.
Purple is, red and blue mixed together. So all you have to do is, depending on what you want to pair it with, if you get one that's more blue shifted, it will harmonize with blues and black. Well, black goes with anything. Black and white will go with anything.
Black and white and gray.
I find that blue and purples don't look like most things. It's like the thing beside it looks nice with it, but I don't find blue or red go with purple for some reason.
They do. Like I said, you just gotta find the right
purple
shift.
Might be a little bit of a push. It's very
like
distinct.
I said, you gotta find one that's either more like if you're wanting to pair
it's kind of like
blues,
mix the two.
Look for one that's more of a blue violet, where it's more blue shifted. And if you're wanting to pair it with things that are in the warmer color palettes, you want to look for one that's more red shifted, so more almost fuchsia or magenta-ish.
I get that in like theory, but I can never find anything that matches.
Trust me, if you need help with that, I'm your woman. My eyeballs are built specially for this. I'm not kidding.
I'm just picky.
I have what are called tetrachromatic eyes.
What?
Tetrachromacy is not super common. Let me hold on a second, because I can never remember like the tetrachromat. There we go. Tetrachromacy is a condition of possessing possessing 4 independent channels for conveying color information, or possessing 4 types of cone cells in the eye.
Oh, normal humans have 3.
Basically, I can see up to 1 million colors, whereas
Right, so what's the extra one? Because it's red, green, and blue.
most
And then
people
something
can see about 1 million colors. I can see up to 100 million colors. So when I'm doing my artwork, especially digitally, my mom is very close to being colorblind. So what I do is when I'm shading things, I do it in 3 colors, like 3 different shades of the same color, particularly with reds and yellows. Yellow is the worst for this. When you get into the like mid-range and like the lighter ends of yellow, the individual shades are super similar. So what I'll do is I can tell the difference between the individual shades, but most people can't. So I'll have my damn near colorblind mother come in and look at it and tell me if she can see that there are 3 distinct shades there. If not, I know to make the jump between shades a bit more extreme.
That's cool.
But it makes me uniquely able to like tell where on the scale, particularly with your secondary colors like purple, green, and orange, it makes me uniquely able to tell people one way or the other whether they skew more, which one of the 2 parent colors they skew more toward.
Oh.
So
okay, I see what you mean.
My mom had the same problem of her favorite color is blue, but she also likes purple, but she didn't often put purple and blue clothing together because she was like, I don't know if maybe I'm picking the wrong shades of purple, but it doesn't look right to me. And I'm like, well, because most of the purple you have is red purple. So yeah, it looks a little with blue. It doesn't harmonize as well as you're wanting it to. So I helped her pick out some more blue violet.
The problem is, I know the purples I like. My favorite purples are the more blue ones. They go okay with like a royal blue, but I don't really like royal blue. Is part
black.
of my problem.
Okay, yeah.
So just wear the entire
Generally,
ace flag.
it's white and black and gray with it.
Oh yeah, I mean that's the ace flag.
My room in university, my side was purples and grays, and that was nice.
Yeah, I will say if royal blue isn't your thing, getting a bright blue and pairing it with either a very light purple, so almost like a pastel purple, or a very dark, rich, like plum purple, works
so
well.
Go to the extreme with the purple.
But I know, unfortunately, with a lot of people, there's a fine line with bright colors.
Yeah.
That a lot of people just don't adhere to. Like, with blue and purple, if you wear, like, bright neon blue and bright neon purple together...
You're a walking highlighter.
Yeah, it's a lot.
So, I went to university, had a white room in university, so got all these, like, nice purple decorations to fit in.
Yeah.
Moved back to my mom's house. My walls are bright blue and bright yellow.
Oh.
Purple does not go.
Oh, God.
I don't really like my room. It just, the decorations have to be totally different.
I don't understand why. I know they're secondary color. I know when you look at the color wheel, they're quote unquote complementary. No, they're not. They don't look nice. Purple and orange do not complement each other.
No.
Blue and yellow do not complement one another. They don't look good together.
I think you mixed it. It's blue and orange and purple and yellow that are complements.
You got the way you keep track of it is you look up. Trust me, it's purple and orange. When you look at the color wheel, it's which ones are directly opposite one another.
Yeah, and those ones make brown, right?
Red and green. That's freaking.
Red and green works.
Red and green.
As Christmas.
It's Christmas. It's automatically Christmas.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing with quote unquote complementary colors.
Oh, they don't look nice together.
When you mix two complementary colors, whether it's blue
brown.
and orange, purple and yellow, red and green, congratulations, now you have brown.
Yep. It doesn't, they're not.
Except it's not really a brown. Sometimes. Depends. Brown is hard to make.
Yeah,
They
that's
don't
true.
look good together, though.
They
like,
don't. They really
They don't. See, to me, colors that are complementary, literally the frickin' word, are colors that complement one another. So blue blue and purple, blue and green. If you want to get wild, even purple and green. You know, your cool color.
Purple and green is.
Though you have to be careful with it though, because green is tricky. Where green is, you know, the mix of blue and yellow.
Yeah.
You want to stick to more blue-based greens if you're gonna do that.
Yeah.
And more blue-based purple. Otherwise, you're gonna run into problems. But like,
if you do green,
nice
then look outside because plants are green.
A nice
everything out there kind of works.
A lovely deep dark purple with like a very fair kind of pastel green looks great. I've seen it done.
It's a very difficult
gorgeous.
Balance.
It is.
The two colors are too bright,
and it is
then
exactly that. It is exactly that, a balance. But like, oh god.
My neighbors, the husband decided to surprise the wife by painting the house. He painted it like a bright blue and a bright yellow. Like they're slightly white and pastel, and they look kind of nice. But she was not happy with him.
Oh no!
She's a realtor, and she comes home from her vacation, and her house is blue and yellow.
Oh no!
She made it look super nice, but like also she was so annoyed. It was quite fun.
I bet.
To our viewers, you came here to hear us talk about asexuality, and you get 15 minutes of us bantering on about colors.
Well, I mean, we've pretty much covered
almost...
everything but the anti-symbols.
Yeah.
So
we're gonna do that really quickly.
I mean, I imagine most of this color theory talk is probably gonna get cut out.
I'm leaving this in because we need the runtime.
Oh my god, yeah. I was worried about today.
I've been encouraging sidetracking because we don't have enough material.
Yeah, so have I. I've been more lenient about the get back on track kind of thing. Apparently we need more time.
And I know Kitty's gotta be the one to make it, so I've just kind of let her go.
Alright, anti-symbols. Plants and robots. We've kind of covered both before in
I like plants.
The first few episodes.
I do like robots and plants.
Like like plants and I like robots. But I mean, I can understand why the wider ace community is like, no, thank you.
Plants don't reproduce asexually. They have pollen and transfer. That doesn't even make sense.
I think if somebody likened me to a succulent, I'd actually be pretty flattered.
Okay, look, succulents are cool.
I've seen super cute ace color succulents that weren't.
Oh, I bought a purple succulent the other day.
Very cool.
Like an actual plant?
Yeah.
Cool.
It's like neon fuck you purple. I'll take a picture of it when we're done and send it to you.
I have a fun spider plant is what I call it because it looks like it's covered in spider webs and it's really cute. But it didn't come with any labeling, so I can't look it up. I don't know what it is.
If you send me a picture of it, I might be able to ID it for you because I really like succulents.
Yeah.
I mean, when you think about it, succulents in particular, as far as plants go, they're these little desert dwelling plants that survive in places that not a lot of things survive.
Yeah. My succulent is much more happy now that I've moved back to my mom's house because I'm on the south side and so it gets a lot of sunlight versus I used to be on the north side surrounded by trees, so it got like no sunlight.
Oh,
and so it lost all of its spider webs, but now it's grown them back. So that's nice.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, that's good.
But I mean, when you compared to other houseplants, succulents kind of thrive on neglect.
That's so true.
It's fair.
You know, if you have a cactus or a succulent, you can literally water that thing once every 4 years and it'll never die.
Yeah, I left my cactus and my succulent in my dorms over Christmas break. And they were just fine when I got back.
I missed mine. I think I missed mine like every other day. If I try to, I don't always remember to. But like, if somebody were to, liken me to a succulent, I'd be pretty flattered because you just likened me to one of the most durable little plants on the planet. That just as far as plants go, like orchids are so ridiculous. They're beautiful, but they're so sensitive.
Yeah.
They're so easy to kill. Whereas succulents practically stand there and just, the mental image I have is almost of, this tiny little succulent just pushing the Grim Reaper away from it going, no!
No.
That's so cute.
No!
No, I'm good. I'm fine. Fuck off.
Pretty much.
Yeah, my cactus is not doing so well. Mostly because I dropped it off my very high windowsill. And so now it has a hole in it that you can see right through the cactus. And I'm like, oops.
Poor baby.
I mean, it's still alive.
It'll take it time. Yeah, it should probably scar that up and be all right.
Sure. But it's just it's gotta take some time.
It'll take him some time.
It's a collection of 4 of them, so 2 of them were quite damaged. But
I have discovered. I had a couple that my tortoiseshell Celine chewed on, and that did them in.
Mm-hmm.
They don't survive cats chewing them so much.
Yeah, Chisa's not allowed on the windowsill with them. He doesn't fit there anyways.
I bought a shelf.
The second anti-symbol. Did we talk about the robots?
I mean, we sort of mentioned that they're cute.
Yeah.
Robots? Yeah, I think the idea is that robots are cold, or like...
Yeah,
they're
cold,
non-human,
unfeeling things.
They're unhuman, they don't have proper feelings, yada yada.
Yeah. Like, they're very logical and unemotional, which...
Even though people give robots so many feelings, like, just through...
Yeah.
I've forgotten what it's called, but it's the whole thing of the person having a Roomba on their lap because it went under a table during a thunderstorm.
Yeah.
The Roomba does not care about a thunderstorm, but people give them feelings.
Yeah, they personalize them and humanize them. I'm terrible for it.
So I don't think most people actually agree with the idea that robots don't have feelings, like, in their, like, they believe it logically, but, like... Mm-hmm. Actually, but like what their brain does with it, no.
Right.
I know. Google Assistant on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
She doesn't care if I say thank you, but I do. I use all my manners when I talk to her.
Yeah.
I know full well that if somebody brought like an AI into my home, you know, like iRobot style, and was like, here's your family's new robot servant, it would not get treated like a servant. Damn thing would be a member of the family by the end of the day, and it would get, you know, please and thank you, and it would, you know, it would have like free will unto itself. It'd be like, well, what do you want to do, Jerry? Like, I know full well that I would be either like the worst robot owner ever because I would treat it like an actual living thing, or I'd be the best robot owner for the exact same reason.
I mean, people give stuffed animals like the same kind of treatment.
Oh, I'm notorious for that.
Definitely.
Part of that is probably because I'm on the autistic spectrum, though. Some of us have a tendency to do that.
Doesn't harm anyone, right?
No.
The outro this thing.
Yeah.
It's been it's been like 50-50 Ace stuff and us rambling on about tangents.
Well, I mean, where asexuality as far as the community is still pretty young. It's still the ace community is still like, it's the little sparrow or the little robin that's been left on the ground by its parents so it can learn to fly, and it's flapping and it's jumping and it's getting there.
Like other sexualities will have generations of symbols.
Well, like
we don't. We just
look at the
don't
gay
have
community,
that much to talk
you
about.
know.
Yeah, there's so much history there. Us is kind of
There's
like,
so
we
much
can
history
guess.
and so many symbols, and that could be like a 4-part podcast thing on, you know, if somebody wanted to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas asexuality, that community and all the pride stuff for us is still pretty young. It's still, well, the flag has only been around for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It'll be 11 years, you know, next June.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't have as much to fill it. We don't have as much to fill out a podcast episode, so our tangents are necessary. Otherwise, this would have been a very short episode.
A 20-minute episode. Wow. So thank you for listening. If you would like to see behind the scenes stuff or be a guest on this podcast, you can get in touch with us on Instagram at knightsofknope or Reddit u/knightsofknope. You can also email us at acasualexchange@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you guys. Send us any comments, concerns, or questions. A Casual Exchange was created by the Knights of Nope. Producing and editing credits go to Dana. This podcast is hosted by Allie. Music credits are in the description. That's all from us today, and we'll see you guys in 2 weeks.
Bye!
Bye!